You know, Sean Astin just arrived too. Hey, Sean, how you doing? Whenever you're ready. Then come on aboard, Chris. Man. Are you ready to interview Sean with us?
Yeah, I'm here. I didn't even prepare a list of questions.
Don't you?
Neither do we.
You need to prepare a list of questions.
Oh, that's obvious. That's obvious. You guys don't.
I gotta tell you, I've been very stoked about this. First, Sean, I want to talk about with Sean here first. I gotta turn his mic on so people can hear him. Because I think people are actually going to want to hear what he has to say.
Yeah.
I don't know, we'll wait and see.
Who's going to want to hear what I have to say? I feel like I should leave and come back later.
Ranji, you don't leave. You stick around. Chris Ranji, the radio guy for the Chicago White Sox, is on the phone with us.
What's up, Chris? How you doing?
There you go.
Hi, Sean. How are you?
Good. I have a little anecdote about the White Sox.
Do you?
Oh, you do?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's not so much. My dad, John Astin, who was Gomez in the Addams family, among a lot of other things, loves doing theater in Chicago. He does it all over the world, but he was doing, I think it was called Lend Me a Tenor at that point, or it might have been the Edgar Allan Poe one-man show that he did. Anyway, he was there, and he invited, I married a girl from Indiana, and and Chicago's not too far away. We always fly in and drive over. It's like an hour-and-a-half drive. Anyhow,
of course, yeah.
My little brother-in-law, he got my little brother-in-law to come over, and they were watching the game, and it was at Comiskey, and they're in the, and he offered for, my dad went and threw out the first pitch, and then he went back to Matt, and I guess Matt was a Cubs fan, and he said, he was probably 10 at the time, and my dad offered to take him over to meet all the White Sox players. And he said, Matt, just his legs locked up, and he's a polite, sweet little kid, and he just froze in place, and his eyes got really wide. And my dad didn't understand. He thought he was scared or something. He didn't know what, but it was like, but that's venturing into White Sox territory.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
He was upset about that. Yeah.
He wasn't upset. He just,
he was intimidated.
It was about loyalty.
Yeah,
It was loyalty.
Is he hurting the Cubs by going to talk to the White Sox?
Right. Exactly.
Oh. Yeah. Well, Harry Carey wasn't worried about that.
No, Harry Carey was both White Sox and Cubs. Mike Binder's looking at me like I need to edit myself now.
Why? You gonna say something bad?
No, not bad. Mike's always just like
about the legendary Harry Carey. What
your shows are too long.
Oh, yeah.
He's always giving me shit. You're worse than Pollock. He says I'm worse than Pollock all the time. No, Harry Carey, there's plenty of bad stories we could tell.
No, don't. Please don't.
I love Harry, but there's some Bob Uecker, Harry Carey stories that are just
all you have to do is say
fantastic.
those two names together and you conjures up imagery, but that's okay.
Right.
I want to talk first, though, Sean. I have a lot. People have been sending in questions. I've been getting emails from people who've had experiences with you.
Oh, gosh.
I actually saw you 3 or 4 months ago at a screening for Rudy at the Arrow.
Oh, that was a great night.
It was great with David Anspaugh, and David's a great director, also did Hoosiers. He did Rudy, and Jon Favreau was there, and you guys did a Q&A. I got to say, man, you were the nicest guy ever. Everyone's coming up to you, and you would take pictures and autograph Lord of the Rings posters, whatever there was. You
know what's funny about this moment?
I appreciate it.
At this moment right now, about 15 feet behind you is a guy in a Direct TV shirt having lunch with his buddy. Yeah. And in 2 years, he's going to come up to me and say, "You'll never remember." But you were at Coney's. And I'll sit and have a visit with him, and you just never know, how the layers of people that I talked to that night in terms of how recently I had met them or the kinds of experiences I had were pretty deep, and you wouldn't necessarily know it if you didn't know. But it's a O2 short life and an O2 small world, not to just try and find a way to get along with everybody.
Yeah, I just love how open and nice you are. Go ahead.
How often does somebody come up to you and say that you will never remember this, but you actually do?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's a great question.
I try and narrow the gap by getting them to talk about it. And generally, you know where you are in space and time. Oh yeah, I was in Philadelphia. You're right, and that's right. It was fall, and you can kind of narrow it down. And there are some times where you just are on a complete blank. You're like, buddy, I'm sorry. I'm not saying you're not memorable. It's me. It's not you.
Right. Well, if you're still, I mean, to do that though, and to be that kind of quality of person, and people still probably got people coming up to you with like fake Hobbit feet on and wanting to sign something, and having
every day with the fake Hobbit feet.
Having patience that it's really that's not something. I don't know
but
that
it didn't even feel like patience with him. Sean just felt totally. It just watching him, he was totally open to it, man.
Yeah,
he was just totally cool.
The way not to feel. Sometimes it does require real patience. You know, if you're traveling, if you're with your kids, if there's any one of a number of reasons that if you're late to get to a thing, if you really need to be focusing. I mean, I had a thing for a pilot the other day, and it was really important. I was going to go in and do this scene, but it wasn't appropriate for me to be there yet, so I kind of walked around. And a bunch of people wanted to stop and take pictures, and it was cool. I took pictures of them. As far as they were concerned, it was fine. But in my mind, I was like, I really need to be focusing on what I need to be focusing on. But the trick is, if you're really interested in what you're doing, whatever it is, then those kind of moments feel like they're a part of that somehow.
That's great.
But if you feel like you're stalled out and you can't get going forward in your life, all you're having is this. I mean, there's a lot of repetition on Twitter. There's it's such an amazing platform, and I've really been exploring it and enjoying it and everything else. And there are, every day, a certain number of people who will have just watched Goonies for the first time, or just watched Goonies for the first time in 20 years, or who have just seen an Adam Sandler movie, or just have seen this, that, or the other thing, and have a genuine nice comment, about how I just love you in this movie. Samwise is so great, and whatever the comments are, and there's kind of themes that run along those comments, and I always kind of note them, but but sometimes you look for a different theme. Is maybe a nice way to put it.
Sean, I want to ask you, you're on this show because you're promoting something that I think is really cool, and I know you use Twitter for this purpose as well. You really get out there with this with Twitter. But talk to us about Run Third, runthird.com, which is @ Run Third, right, for the Twitter?
Well,
is that a Twitter thing?
Now, do I have to teach you about Twitter?
Yes,
All right,
do.
This is going to be it for your audience.
Yeah, Matt's terrible at Twitter.
This moment.
He's not good with social media. It's not his strong thing.
Here.
I run too much. I run my mouth too much.
It took me about 10 minutes to get my 65-year-old mother.
Oh no.
Who like if it has a button, she's like, I don't know. Talk to Mike. I don't know. Call the guy. And now she's got like a couple thousand followers, and the tweet she just hit just now before I walked into this diner was complaining to the Twitter people of her verification thing got pulled off. And she's like, hey, I came to the 21st century. I'm here now. Why did you do this thing with my... And I'm like, yeah, Mom, you go for it. So here you go. All right. Man. It's very simple.
All right.
It's like a mass email.
Okay.
Okay? If you have 30 people you want to send an email to, you put them one by one in the to column, or you CC them or whatever, and you send it, and they all get it. So all this is kind of a bulk email, and people choose whether they want to see all the emails that you're publishing.
Right.
So we're here, right?
Yeah.
You choose me. You're going to follow me.
Yeah.
Anytime I tweet, boy, this hot dog is better than the last one, boom, it's going to pop up on your thing. You're going to read it.
Yeah. You listening, Matt?
Yes, I'm listening.
Okay.
Hashtag. My producer, Caesar, just said hashtag.
Hashtag. Yeah, no, I'm getting there. Hashtag is coming.
Okay.
All right? I've become the new Twitter, maven. Everyone sit down. I'm going to explain Twitter. Okay, so everyone has...
Explain to Matt the filtering part. Explain to him the part about you don't always say everything you're thinking.
Well, I use the word filter to describe one of the things that happens in Twitter, but
that's a technical term.
No, that's not how you meant it. You meant dude, shut up.
I need a finger.
Stop talking.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Chris, Sean is in the process of landing the Steve Jobs biopic role with this. So
I feel like I'm getting spanked right now on every end.
Well, what else are we going to do?
All right, so
be nice to each other.
So this is runthird.com hashtag.
No, stop.
But no,
stop. Back up.
No, I don't know. Oh,
Everyone who has a Twitter, just listen. You're going to follow me. You're going to understand it. Your audience is going to understand it. Your audience is screaming right now. Be quiet. He's about to explain it to us. Okay, you ready?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay. Everyone has a handle.
Okay.
And a handle is basically your email address. What's your email address? No, don't tell everyone.
Okay.
So my handle, my Twitter address, if you will, is @Sean Astin. Right?
Easy enough.
Easy enough. So anybody who wants to see all of my tweets goes to @Sean Astin and clicks follow. If they're tired of my tweets because I tweet too much about Run Third, which I'm going to describe in a second, they can unfollow. Now, So you can find, that's one way that you can filter, different word, different usage. One way that you can filter is you find someone who you're interested in, you put in their address, and you just look at everything they tweet. Or you're following lots of people. You follow me, and you follow him, and you follow him, right? And then when you turn on your Twitter thing, oh, you see what each different person has tweeted that day. That's cool.
Yeah.
Right, okay, now, there's another way to access your tweeting, and it's called hashtags.
All right.
Say it with me.
Hashtags.
All right?
Hashtag.
And what is it? What is a hashtag?
It's a pound sign.
It's a pound sign. Now,
Okay.
that's not so hard.
All right.
All right? It's a pound sign and then any word after it.
Okay.
Okay, or collection of letters or whatever. Anybody who uses a hashtag in their tweet, right? So you tweet, Sean tried to explain Twitter to me, hashtag I don't understand. And I'm like, I tried to explain Twitter to you, hashtag he didn't understand, right? You can then load in that hashtag name, and it'll pull up just a strand of those tweets.
Oh,
so you're not looking at it
So it's like a
per
search.
person. It's like a search.
It filters it.
It filters it is what I'm saying.
There we go.
So what I've started,
Yeah.
and anybody can tweet and can create a hashtag. I mean, you could do one every time you send out a tweet, and they could be totally inane. Burger, fart, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes those are related. Actually, no.
Yeah.
That's most of my tweeting, burgers
Right.
and fart.
No, but the point is that no one tweet is or hashtag is necessarily more interesting than another. It's just a matter of who's choosing to use it. Now, certain ones.
Well, that's not necessarily true. There are some hashtags that are way more interesting than others.
Right, no. But I said necessarily, right? So yeah.
Oh, right, you're right.
If everyone on Saturday tweets Super Bowl, something or other, hashtag Super Bowl, something or other, and that is the most used hashtag of that day, then they actually have trending. And some people will try to just get their hashtag trending.
Right.
And now I haven't tried to get Run Third trending yet. So now I'll transition to the explanation of the thing
Yes.
you were asking about.
Actually, before you go on, if you don't mind, can you explain to me what that little A is with the circle around it? Start there.
Yeah. It's an @ sign, which is on your computer.
Is Chris making fun of me in his sly way here?
Well, no,
I'm absolutely making fun of you.
No, this is a good question. If you're getting a Twitter for Dummies, kind of start, that when I said everybody has a name,
Yes.
right? Mine is, I said @ Sean Astin.
Yes.
Which actually meant the @ sign and then my name. So somebody else's handle can be @ Coney.
Oh, well, there
Right?
you
And
go.
it's the @ sign and Coney. That's their name, their address. You have to have that @ sign at the beginning in order for it to make sense.
I'm a Facebook guy.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, it's easy. It's like it's for dummies.
It's not as easy as Twitter. I promise you, Twitter
Really?
is 1,000 times easier than Facebook. Facebook you can do more with because you can you can post pictures that you can see. Like with Twitter, you have to attach things and stuff. But anyhow, it's
Run Third though.
Run Third.
Tell
Okay,
me
so
about
what I
Run
did was,
Third.
why don't you talk for a minute? I've been talking too long.
All right. Millions of years of evolution, and
Now,
all right, so
now
Run Third.
Caesar needs to be calling up Twitter right now and being like, Sean Astin just explained Twitter.
Right.
You need to put that on your
They had
Facebook or whatever.
They had criers.
All right, next.
Like in the Revolutionary days. I know it's a little bit after Caesar, but you have the town criers. I'm sure they have the same thing where you tell somebody and they run out and tell other people.
So that's what it is.
So this is
Except
what it
it's
is.
on the
Only
internet.
it's an illicit direct communication. Right now, this thing that I'm doing, I'm up to just under 20,000 followers.
That's good. That's Craig Bierkoville, I call it.
Yeah. Well, so you can judge people based on their followership. You just don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Yes,
no.
exactly.
Unbelievable.
Haven't I been saying this all along?
That's Bierkoville.
Well, it's funny because people always have the same it doesn't matter if you have 50 followers or 50,000 or 5 million. People are always like, oh, hey, that's good.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what difference does it make? It doesn't
Right.
make any difference whatsoever. But I set an arbitrary goal for my little campaign here of having 26,200 followers. So we need 6,000 more, and we need it in 13 days.
Oh, wow.
Want to know why?
Why?
I was hoping you'd ask.
There you go.
I'm running the LA Marathon.
Yes.
Okay.
Which
in
scares
fact
me.
runs right by this restaurant.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
So if I sit
That's
here...
an interesting coincidence because this is about the point where I would give up and come inside and have it hot. I already got the T-shirt. I'm going to meet women.
If I sit here, am I going to be able to watch the marathon? Am I going to watch you guys come by?
Watch 25,000 people
shit.
dressed in all sorts of craziness running by. And at this point, this is probably about mile I'm just spitballing it now, but like mile 16.
I'm smoking a cigarette outside of here while that's going on.
What's the Sunset Boulevard Marathon like? Are people on phones making movie pitches while they're running?